Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Exit, the game, Advent Calendar, The Silent Storm.
With 24 exciting puzzles.
Oh my gosh.
What a title.
This is designed by Inka and Marcus Brian and it is published by Kosmos.
So this is basically an old school advent calendar. I remember going through these advent calendars as a kid. You'd pop open the day leading up to Christmas and there'd be some little verse or maybe a chocolate or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That you got to kind of just count down days to Christmas. So big fan of advent calendars. There's just a lot of fun, a lot of excitement around that time of year. So we also like escape room style games. So Exit the game is just these escape room style games where you usually have about 10 puzzles or so in a box and you have to kind of work your way through them in order to solve the escape room and to escape. When we heard that there was an Exit advent calendar,
Heck yeah, man, sign me up!
That combines two pretty awesome things in a way that I did not know was possible. So basically, advent calendar, there's 24 days. That means there's 24 puzzles that you have to do. Each one is its own little individual puzzle in each box, and the solution of the puzzle gives you the location of the next door that you open. So you're kind of always progressing it through this puzzle, eventually to where you open the entire thing up.
Yeah, and it uses, like all Exit games, it uses the entire game, so there's a reason why typically we like to display the game. We are not going to do that. This is going to be completely spoiler free. We don't want to give anything away outside of the fact that it's creative, again, as always, as the way that the entire box is used. I like that, but that's why we're not going to show you anything, because it uses everything.
That's right. The solutions to the puzzles are all, it comes down to these codes usually. It's boiled down to either a yellow, blue, red, or 3 numbers, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And then you put that code in there. It's going to give you some kind of a result in terms of arrows. It's going to point you to the right boxes, and then it's going to confirm that code with some symbols as well. And that's just a really fun way to kind of finish the night out. So you play this puzzle, you get your solution, and you find out where you're going to be going tomorrow. And we have 2 kids. We have a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old. And so we let them kind of alternate who was going to be opening the door and getting all this stuff out, which was like, oh, can I do it tomorrow? It's like, oh, no, you did today's, so you can't. That was a lot of fun. I just like how the solutions of the puzzles were just, you knew what you were looking for. You're looking for a 3-digit code, essentially, most times, or whatever the case was. And so you kind of knew what you were hunting for. It made it a lot easier to solve.
Yeah, the box does say 10 and up, but we did play with our 6 and our 10-year-old, and I think it worked really well. Our 6-year-old wasn't necessarily solving a lot of the puzzles, but there's still things that she could do to be interactive with us. Like Ryan said, that coder, she could figure out, she can point to where the stuff is going. Every other day, she got to open up a box and pull everything out. So she was still able to be involved, so much so that our 6-year-old would routinely ask for this, like if we could do it after supper, because she just really enjoyed it. She liked hearing the little story, because there is an overarching story for this every day, and so liked hearing the story of what was happening. So even though the box says 10 and up, I think as long as you're willing to hold a little bit of hands, you can definitely play with smaller children.
A lot of the escape room style games, including Exit series, has clues that you can get.
Yeah.
In the Exit games, there's like 10 puzzles, and each puzzle has 3 clue cards with it. One just gives you kind of a hint to make sure you're going in the right direction, you're looking at the right things. A second clue that's like, okay, so here's how you're going to use that information. Here's how you're going to use those components to get the answer. And then if you're still stumped, there's the final solution of the puzzle. This had a similar idea going on. But in those big, larger escape room games, you usually have some kind of a score that you're given, a 5-star score based off how fast you do it, how many clues you need, that kind of thing. This is much, much more casual. First of all, you're only doing one puzzle at a time, but then you have if you need to look at some of the hints, you can look at any of the hints, and you're not penalized for any of it.
Yeah.
It's a much more family-friendly experience. Yes. It's almost like a training session for doing some of these escape room style games. After having done this now, I know our 10-year-old could now jump in on doing any of these other Exit games or whatever, because she gets the idea of how they work. She knows how, when we're stuck, if we want to look for a clue, we can, or whatever the case is. She's now, essentially, over doing these 24 little mini sessions, trained.
Yeah, and that was really nice, because there was one clue that didn't work out the way that it was supposed to. It wasn't
there was like a mechanical error, essentially.
Yeah, and so the fact that we had that in the book and we could get to the next thing was extremely extremely helpful. One of the things that I think is perfect, absolutely perfect about this game is how long these puzzles take. I don't think we've ever spent more than 10 minutes on a single puzzle.
With reading and everything.
Yeah, with everything. And so that is perfect. If you're wanting that little, 5 to 15 minute little puzzle every day leading up to Christmas, this is it. They did a great job of making the puzzles short. So they're still fun. Some of them are still a bit more challenging. Some of them are easier, just like all of the exit games. But they really aren't going to take longer than that 10 minutes. And so I thought that was really brilliant and really nice. And because of that, if you miss a couple of days, you can just get caught up in one little session. Totally works out.
I have done an advent calendar every year that I can remember. And I'm 37 years old. So I've done 30 some odd advent calendars over my life. And without a doubt, without even coming close, this is my number one favorite advent calendar.
Yeah.
So unique, so cool. It's got a big toy factor to it. The excitement, the anticipation, the satisfaction of having solved the puzzle. Everything about it. It was interactive. It was memorable. And it was engaging. This is the kind of thing you're going to remember. These kids are going to remember for a long time. Can we do another advent calendar like we did last year? For a long time to come.
I was telling my boss about this one because I know that her and her son have played some of the exit games, and I told her that we were playing this because we wanted to get a review up before Christmas so you can play it during Christmas. And I think that it's going to be perfect. You should get it. If you watch this video, you should just get it. Because it's so much fun.
We don't say that very often.
Well, and another thing that I like about it that I don't even think we discussed, but we're not huge stuff people, right? And so one of the things about advent calendars is sometimes you get all these trinkets and then you have to slowly sneak them away from your children and throw them away. And I like that is not the case. When this is over, it's done. And so I really like that. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.